In our brain, there is a sensory cortex and a motor cortex. Now, what they do is they help for our body and our brain to communicate. Basically, the sensory cortex receives information from our body. This is anything from heat to joint position and so on, or even pain. The motor cortex sends information from the brain to the body and tells our limbs or muscles how much to move. Now, it is very important that they are working well together. And what is special about the sensory cortex and the motor cortex is that they are not organized in the way that we may think. Meaning, if we pay attention to our torso, our back, it takes up much more space than our face. However, not in our brain. Our face, for example, takes up about 50% of the sensory and the motor cortex. The hands another 15 to 20, and the feet another 15 to 20. And what is left for the leg or the torso. A good example of this is if I put a grain of sand on my chest or on my stomach, I may not feel it. But if I take that same grain of sand and put it in my mouth, I will know exactly where it is. It's very sensitive. This is why it is important to pay attention to how our teeth come together, our vision, any scars we may have on our body, or any pains when trying to improve posture. So in order to maintain good posture, we must have good communication between the sensory cortex and the motor cortex. Good example of this also is I must know where my elbow is in space and time in order for me to reach for the apple. If I don't have good communication from this joint, from the muscles or from the ligaments, then I may need to compensate. I may need to look because I don't actually know that the elbow's half open. And this compensation may be the recipe for tension in muscles that shouldn't happen, or eventually pain. So when wanting to correct these compensations or improve how our body and our brain communicate, this can be done through exercise. It can also be done through using some assistance from a chiropractor or a physiotherapist, or in some cases maybe even optometrist or a dentist. While improving posture, think on a global scale. It's not just here, but it's actually the whole body.